So over the past many crypto corners, I've been like ranting a little bit at the beginning. So with this, I can rant a bit again. So Maria, I'm taking over your roundtable just to rant.
Hello friends, welcome to the Metacast Roundtable by Naavik. And today I'm joined by Matt Dion, Senior Product Manager at EA, Abhimanyu Kumar, co-founder of the great Naavik, Nicolas, Vereecke, investor at Bitcraft and co-host of the Metacast. And we also have a surprise last-minute guest, David Amor, CEO of Playmint, because there's some cool news to be shared. David.
Oh yeah, our funding round, our seed funding round got announced. It's quite fun because in a sense, some of this stuff happened over the Metacast. Nico and I have been speaking for a while. Nico, you remember by day. What's your day job? Is it running the Metacast or is it part of Bitcraft? It's hard to tell sometimes, isn't it?
The first is.
Nonetheless, Nico and I have been talking about what I plan to do, and I think that's in line with the sort of thing that Nico and Bitcraft are interested in. So, yeah, they were lead investor in our seed round with lots of other great VCs, 1KX, Cherry, Play, and Ethereal, who join a sort of mixture of crypto VCs and game VCs. And yeah, it's nice to have some gas in the tank and we can focus on building games. And nice to be, have an official reason to be speaking to Nico a few times a week. There we are.
We've been talking a lot over the past months.
Oh, yeah.
Like multiple times per week.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was fun.
Yeah. And we just got back from a Dev Connect, which is an event in Amsterdam. That was a lot of fun as well. I recommend anybody interested in this space to go there next year. Maria, you'll be there next year. Man U,
Maybe,
I've never
will
seen,
I hutch?
I've never seen Man U outside of Berlin.
He's not even in Berlin.
Not even in Berlin. In Cologne.
In Cologne, my bad. And Matt,
you're pretty close to Amsterdam.
You're excused because you're the other side of the Atlantic. But
well, I do love Amsterdam. I've been a few times. It's a great city.
I think we're making things happen. I will see you next April in Amsterdam, each one of you.
Yes. By the way, so quick PSA. I don't know if this is relevant to anyone, but there are NFT events in the crypto space and there are dev events in the crypto space. You can avoid the NFT events. You can go to the dev events because there's a huge difference between the two, right? I was at NFT Lisbon a few weeks ago, and that was just, people, as I describe it, people looking for exit liquidity, right? Come buy my NFTs so I can buy a boat and not talk to anyone anymore in my life. And people at Amsterdam at Dev Connect were actually like very excited about this technology, building super cool stuff. Highly recommend these types of events.
Nice.
I love the story of the friendship being built and the business as well over the podcasts.
Tell us like some more about that. Like how did it start? How did it end up here?
I don't know.
It sounds like a love story. I'm in.
A little bit.
The options to make the movie are available. So I don't know what our contractual position is.
Netflix keeps calling me, David. I think,
But I think that it's quite an interesting way to. I didn't know Nico before the Metacast, and of course, we were interested in the same set of things. I think in the sort of crypto world, and then you get to figure out whether or not you're both aligned in terms of your thinking and what you want to try and do. And it was. I never really thought of it this way. In fact, I guess you weren't officially part of Bitcraft when you started working on the Metacast. Is that right, Nico? Mm-hmm. So we were sort of already aligned before that became available, and I had no plans to do funding at that time. So just a bit of serendipity over the last few months. Feels like 3 or 4 months, something like that.
Yeah.
And you say, Manu, you said congrats, David, but it's almost in today's world where you have an experienced team willing to build on-chain games in Web3. It's almost more congrats, Nico, because there's
I said congrats, Nico.
There's more. There's more capital out there than there are people that know what to do with it.
What a lovely moment.
Oh,
yeah.
No, definitely milestone moment for sure.
I'm very excited with the next game. because I was reading the article, and you are going to build an on-chain trading game full of politics, subterfuge, and economic opportunity. This sounds like a dream D&D session for me, so I am extremely looking forward to it.
The designers are having such a good time building this game at the moment, mapping it all out. And it's really a game where we set the scene for players, rather than a lot of great games which are about set pieces on set pieces that to entertain a player. What we're doing really is more setting the scene and letting players entertain themselves and creating situations where you have all this political, who's doing what, factions, all that good stuff,
So like true to the DNA of loot in a way.
Yeah, well, it's a sort of evolution of our first game, The Crypt. And we're doing it all on chain, which is sort of somewhere between amazing and crazy, not sure, but fun place to be. It's a great way to spend the working day, figuring it out.
Yeah, well, congrats, Playmint,
Hey.
Bitcraft, David, Nico, and thank you as well to all other investors. I'm extremely happy to know that this game might actually come true with the investment round. So, yeah, looking forward to when the game is out.
Sure,
Yeah.
but, I'm very cautious before presenting anything to you, Maria, because I was listening to that last podcast and how you gave Neil a hard time. So I'm going to make sure it's so polished. You'll see it the same day everybody else. You're not getting any preview version.
Just tell me in advance, and then I'll just be extra nice.
Okay, we'll see on that bombshell. I'm going to run off and make dinner, but nice to be here for a moment. I'll see you all soon.
Take care,
Thanks,
David.
David.
Cheers,
Bye.
David.
Ciao, David.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And in other... Manu, yeah?
Oh, no, nothing.
You said bye.
I was
Okay.
just going to say, I actually do like how our intros, talk about like some good news or like someone else's game who's actually also part of, the roundtable team. And last week we did it with Anil, this week we do it with David. So, yeah. Things are moving
Are you
forward
telling
for
me
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some investing to do to keep this up. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Why not?
Yes. So actually, on other good news, today we're going to try a new format of the roundtable. So if you're a listener, it would be amazing to hear your feedback at the end of it, just so we know if we're going in the right direction, what's good, what's not so good for us to improve. So thank you in advance if you can send us an email or reach out in other ways. And so the list of topics today, a bit of a hot pot of exciting news. So Ubisoft attracting buyout interest, Meta's struggle to recover its market value, Playable Worlds doing a raise, and also talking about STEPN with a great catchy name that Nico gave it, Move to Earn or Ponzinomics. So that will be...
You get to guess twice.
Yeah, so Manu, what's next for Ubisoft? Let us know what you've explored.
Yeah, I'm excited about like this new format. So yeah, I guess I'll intro the topic this time. So basically what happened was, late last week, Bloomberg put out a report that there was a rumor that, Ubisoft is like a potential buyout target for a couple of private equity firms, specifically Blackstone and KKR. Of course, like in the shadow of the major acquisitions that happened over Q1, this news definitely got a lot of people's ears perked up. Okay, are we going to see like the next big major acquisition? And yeah, I mean honestly, it's I actually don't think it's graduated like from the rumor phase of things. Ubisoft itself has denied any any association with this kind of news. But I mean, if it is true, I guess my opinion on the whole thing is just that I'm probably not that surprised, just given Ubisoft's performance over the last year. I think Aaron covered Ubisoft back in July or June last year. And, at that time itself, again, net bookings were down about like 20%. In their latest release, again, they were down another 17%. The stock has just gotten absolutely crushed since the start of 21 and also start of this year. Their market cap has basically halved since then. Of course, there's like the broader macro market trends and whatnot also affecting all of it. But I mean, Ubisoft has just generally not had a good time, I feel. All the delayed launches that they keep announcing, this big employee misconduct scandal that happened, the great exodus, quote unquote, as everyone calls it, that happened. In the NFT space, that was like their next, probably the thing that a lot of people were getting excited about, when it comes to Ubisoft's evolution. But the Ghost Recon NFT experiment just made like $700 or something. Granted, it's an experiment and such, but I'm sure like they learned a lot also from it. But yeah, in general, Ubisoft has not really had the best time. And yeah, when the news came out, I kind of also probably wanted to happen so that potentially Ubisoft can, see better days in the future. But yeah, at the moment, not very surprising news, but also it's still in a rumor state. So yeah, I mean, let's see.
Do you think parallels can be drawn between Ubisoft and Activision Blizzard?
Probably maybe just in terms of the IP portion of it. Yeah, probably there are also like the employee scandal parallels, etc. But I think if you just look at it on a company performance perspective, I still believe Activision Blizzard is at a different level versus Ubisoft, that just has a general reputation of just not delivering on things that they have said that they will deliver on. So that's just happened like again and again and again, and it shows in the market reaction or the public market reaction. So if they get acquired, that'll probably be like another parallel to Activision Blizzard, if Activision Blizzard even does get acquired. But yeah, but I don't know. It's not like not like super like deep news at the moment. But yeah.
One thing I thought was kind of interesting in reading the coverage about this was that the companies expressing interest supposedly in acquiring Ubisoft were not strategic investors like, say, a Microsoft for Activision Blizzard. It was like private equity firms. And on that topic, I saw a really interesting tweet that I'm going to read a little bit from here from Dr. Sirkin Toto on Twitter. So shout out for the great tweet. He listed like approximate employee numbers for different game studios worldwide. And so just to cherry pick a couple here, Take-Two, about 6,500 globally. That excludes Zynga, which is another 2,000. Nintendo, 6,600. Activision Blizzard, 10,000. EA, 11,000. Ubisoft, 20,300. So, I mean, like more than double Activision Blizzard. And when you compare that to, the revenues and the success that they've had, and you think about some of the private equity firms that are considering acquiring them, supposedly, maybe there's some layoffs coming, some, slimming down of the business. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but
basically, I mean, I guess these private equity firms are essentially going to, if it happens, basically, polish up the asset before, they flip it, I guess. But yeah. I mean, that could very well happen.
Don't forget, Ubisoft is French, and French are notorious for all of their, they're pretty socialist, or at least like us in Belgium, we look at them as fairly socialist. And so, I mean, that might be why, maybe they were never able to lay anyone off. And so there's just a bunch of people hanging out at the Ubisoft offices. I'm sure that's not the case, but yeah.
It is true. Even comparing with Portugal, it's very hard to lay off someone in Portugal. There's a lot of unemployment, rescission of, can I speak English today? The word about breaking a contract with someone, firing them. There you go. It's quite strict. At least way stricter than I know it is in Canada and the United States, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
But yeah, Max from our writing team on Naavik Digest, he's doing a short piece on this also. So I think, we're recording on Wednesday, so it should be coming out this evening. So yeah, you can get more details about this topic there. More details
I'll
about the
read it.
rumors.
The rumors come from somewhere. So going on to Meta struggles to recover market value. So early February, Meta shares, they fell by around 26%. So it wiped around 230 billion off of Meta's market value. And the root cause is that it was the first time that they saw a drop in daily user numbers. And today, we're recording this on Wednesday. Once the market closes, I believe Meta is going to release the first quarter report. So we need to confirm this. I'm going to be talking about news regarding some predictions of what the report will contain. So I think investors are not expecting to see a great recovery, but at least some progress and improvement in the market value. And the reported root causes of why Meta is struggling, it's post-IDFA impacts on their advertising business. They're struggling to retain young users, which apparently they represent around 97% of Meta's revenue. They're leaving Facebook and Instagram in droves and joining competitors such as TikTok. They have been doing massive funding on their metaverse platform. I think they invested around 10 billion in 2021 alone. So more than 10 times that they paid to acquire Instagram in 2012. And I was also seeing Google, so Alphabet, aka Google, they reported their first quarter earnings, and similarly, they grew, but it didn't meet investor expectation. And one of the reasons that was communicated is similarly with TikTok as a competitor, and they're struggling to monetize the short reels. So focusing on the gaming aspect of this news, I just wonder how is the metaverse going to become profitable? Like, just looking at the investment that Meta is doing in building out this metaverse platform, they're going to require such a mass user base. And we also saw the fees that they're going to charge creators. And there's a competitive landscape. You know, we see companies like Epic, Matt's going to talk about Playable Worlds, so many companies trying to build metaverses. So it's not like someone does it once and then they'll have a critical user base coming to them, because there's going to be plenty of options out there to explore. Yeah, I'm just curious to see what happens throughout the year with Meta. Does anyone have any takes?
At Facebook,
I'd like to have your thoughts on their... Sorry, so I saw a lot of backlash on their creator fees that they were charging, which were up to 47.5%, I believe. Just curious, isn't Roblox like way more? And why is everyone hating so much on this? And yeah, just curious to have like, what do you think
Roblox
that is?
way? I actually thought Roblox was like at 37, or I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting. Is Roblox way more than? Okay.
Where's Dion when you need him?
Yeah, I was saying we need
It's been a while since we got Dion on. Yeah. I don't know.
So I think it's more. Yeah.
I can at least say, with Apple and Google Play, it's 30%. And then I think Steam is also around 30%. And then Epic Games is lower. And so I think the expectation is that there's already a lot of conversations going on about the high fees being charged to developers, for example, on Apple and Google Play of 30%. And now Meta just says, oh, actually, we're going to do near 50%. And I think that's where the backlash.
Can I be advocate of the devil here?
Yeah, of course.
So I just looked up. I think, for Roblox, it's about, they pay out 28% to creators. That's so on average, Roblox pays developers over 28 cents per dollar spent. Pretty much, right? But the thing is that why does Roblox get to charge so much is because they provide tooling, right? They provide a tool sets for people to build games with. I'm assuming that's also Meta's plan, right? Well, Apple doesn't give you shit, right? They give you access to a marketplace and users.
But Epic Games does. If you if you have a deal with them, I think you can even access without being distributed on their store. You have access to the Epic Online services, for example.
And I think potentially Unreal and things like that. So the Unreal license and to use that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
But
Tim Sweeney is a good guy after all.
I think like David like put it pretty well in one of the previous podcasts when we talked about this. Maybe he said it, but he said like something that Facebook is. This move by Facebook was just tone deaf in like just a regular environment where everyone is talking about reducing the cut from 30. Facebook comes out with this number, and more importantly in the metaverse environment and in the Web3 environment where the number is, Nico can confirm, but probably in the single digits. they're at 10 times that, and yeah, this tone deaf. I mean, yeah, I agree with that, but I don't know. I don't know. We also don't have like too many details on, their business model and such. Plus, they do have like access to all the, they will be controlling the hardware with their VR headsets, which would give access to a lot of these metaverse experiences that they're creating. I don't know how all that fits in, but...
I understand. It's a fair point to be devil's advocate on this. It is a new world, and new worlds come with new needs to monetize. I'm just thinking about them investing 10 billion in 1 year alone and many more years in investment. They have to recoup their money somehow. So it's a fair point, Nico. And actually tied into
one
this.
Question. One question to actually go back to something you said, Maria. You said so Google also came out with its results, and but then you said they have not been, because of TikTok, they have not been able to monetize Reels. So Google has Reels.
YouTube.
Where does that exist? YouTube.
YouTube. Sorry, yeah, because Alphabet owns YouTube. Sorry, I should have clarified
YouTube
that.
is Google.
Yeah, they have these short format videos now.
Right. Yeah, true.
Yeah, well, tying into the metaverse, Matt, Playable Worlds.
Yeah, so the news item that caught my eye this week was the round raised by Playable Worlds, which is a game studio that was started by Eric Goldberg and Raph Koster. I've been following them for a little while because I really like Raph Koster. I think he's really smart. He wrote maybe my favorite game design book. It's called A Theory of Fun for Game Design.
My favorite too.
I love it too.
Do you know that book?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's really good, like really cute illustrations, but really simple and lays out a lot of the topics. Yeah, it's a great book. So highly recommend that. But anyways, he's they're both longtime industry veterans. Raph Koster did Ultima Online, among many other projects. So he has a lot of experience doing these sort of MMO metaverse type projects in the past. So this company, Playable Worlds, raised 25 million, and I'm quoting here, for cloud-native sandbox massive multiplayer online game. So there's a lot of venture buzzwords there. They raised the money in a round led by Kakao Games. And again, shout out to our friends at Bitcraft for recommitment here, along with several other investors, Galaxy Interactive. There was new investment from Lilith Games, which I thought was interesting, and Gangels. Yes, they're making a sandbox MMO, but apparently the big draw here is the tech stack. And they've spent a lot of time and money building out a sort of cloud native tech stack that takes advantage of cloud computing to do a lot of really interesting things. They can do more detailed simulations. They have smarter AI. They can do persistent worlds that are shared among players. So the example they gave in one of the articles I read was that if you chop down a tree, it's permanently gone from the world for everybody. So there's this sort of persistence across sessions, which is really cool, and apparently is something that is sort of uniquely enabled by cloud computing. So anyways, I thought this was fascinating. And then I'll just say one last thing before I kind of open it up to you all, is that the round was led by Kakao Games, right, which is an Asian company. Kakao is like an Asian social media or like messaging company, I believe. And they made a point in one of these articles that the direction that Playable Worlds is going leans more into an Asian gaming style than a Western gaming style, and I'll just read a quick quote here. So they, and what they mean by they is, I guess, Asian gamers or Asian customers, live in a world where most activity occurs in the messenger layer. So again, Kakao, a messaging company. And gaming is integrated with other things like dating, banking, ride-hailing services. So that meant that Kakao had an interest in tying the game to the real world. So I don't know. I thought this was fascinating. And a lot of those things kind of touch on metaverse concepts, bridging the gap between physical and digital. And obviously like a really seasoned founding team. So I've been following this company for a little while. And I'm really curious to see what they do. They haven't released any details about the game itself, though. It's been all about the tech stack, which I think is kind of interesting when you look at other rounds that are raised. It's like, oh, we're going to make this big, I don't know, competitive FPS, or we're going to make a sandbox social game, or like a lot of the rounds are led with the game. And this round is led with the tech and how we're going to accomplish what we are setting up to do. So I thought that was really interesting.
I think I saw a news article this week that Lilith Games is now a publisher as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So another Asian developer right there. Lilith, I think, is a Chinese developer, right?
Yeah, with Playable Worlds, I think we also we discussed it once in one of the previous podcasts. And one thing that really stood out to me in terms of their approach, which is probably to your point also, Matt, about showcasing the tech, is while a lot of these build your own metaverse platform style companies would really just focus on the tech, and the tech is the product, and kind of creating the tools that people can use to make their UGC experiences or metaverse experiences. Playable Worlds has this approach of, yes, we will create the tech, but we will also create the game so that people can, we need to have the game so that people come here first, and then they're here, and then we open up the tech for, either those people to create their own experiences, or further on for developers and things like that. And I felt that in itself was a very smart approach. And who better to kind of create that kind of a MMO experience than, Raph Koster himself. But yeah, that's one thing that really stood out to me. I'd also recommend checking out the Playable Worlds blogs and Raph Koster's, his entries, development diary
Riffs
style
by
entries.
Raph.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it's called. Very, very insightful stuff. You can combine all of those into its own little book, to be honest. But yeah.
I draw. As you were saying that, I was drawing some parallels with the conversation we had of Epic and Lego collaborating for the metaverse, and then I think this gives me similar feelings of seeing a name like Raph just leading a metaverse. It just makes me feel warm and fuzzy and hopeful. Yeah,
same.
That's it.
I'm
That's my
hopeful.
comment.
It's
warm and fuzzy.
It's certainly warmer and fuzzier than Zuckerberg leading metaverse concept.
Yeah, Cambridge Analytica 0.2.
I completely missed. There was this meme from his announcement where he was if you die in real life, you die in the metaverse. Was that real? Did he actually say that in the Facebook the keynote presentation?
I hadn't seen that.
I don't know. I couldn't watch it.
I don't know. I just saw that floating around on the internet, and I was like, man, there's no way he could have actually said that. But
all right, well,
my takes on this. So obviously we were involved. I wasn't. So it's not on the crypto part. So I wasn't closely involved. But I'm always very optimistic and hopeful, which is why I do the venture capital job. And so once Raph Koster wrote an internal document or his thoughts on what's being sold as the metaverse, especially when it comes to crypto, and it was confronting. I'll put it that way. So got some of my hopes and dreams absolutely crushed. But here we are, investing in Playmint, who's going to be building, a on-chain game. So we keep trucking, we keep fighting. And but yeah, I'm super impressed by everything that Raph does. And we like to back these types of entrepreneurs, who've been around the block and like who that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, as Maria so eloquently describes it, when they just about the idea of them building this type of stuff. So
Yeah.
Well, that leads us to STEPN, move to earn our Ponzinomics.
All right. Yes. Thank you.
This one I'm looking forward to.
Are you saying you weren't looking forward to the ones before, Manu?
No, that is just your interpretation.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything like that. There's no subtext.
Please go ahead. Go.
So I've been, over the past many crypto corners, I've been like ranting a little bit at the beginning. So with this, I can rant a bit again. So Maria, I'm taking over your roundtable just to rant. So a few months ago, like a very good friend of mine, also in the crypto space, came to me and he's like, Nico, I have to tell you something. STEPN, man, is the shit. I've got these shoes on my phone, and then I go for a walk, like a 15-minute walk with my dog, and I earn $50. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, so I did some research, and my very lame joke is that STEPN is just Axie Infinity with extra steps. So you need to buy the assets, NFT assets that you can then use to earn tokens that you need to generate more of these NFT assets that you can then sell to other people who can then use them to, and so it continues. The typical Ponzinomic loop. I can go into move to earn a bit later because I actually have like a positive thing to say about this as well. I'm not only ranting, but love to have your thoughts on this. What do you think about STEPN, Maria?
I feel strongly on this. Thank you for picking me first.
You walk a lot, so you're like, give me these shoes.
I walk a lot. Yes, I do. I do walk a lot. So for me to go running, it costs me usually £100 for some good running shoes. And when I heard about STEPN, someone was saying, I think it was Nat Ellionson's analysis of STEPN, and he was saying that he can earn $300-400 a day, and I was immediately captivated because I already walk a lot.
357. I remember that number. It's like 357.
Wait, and can you wait? So how much do you have to pay for the shoes, and then how much do you earn per day?
This is my story, Nico. Let me tell my story.
Okay, sorry.
And so I installed this app, and then it says activation code. And then I go to try to discover what an activation code is. And I realize there's this gold rush. So you have to invest so much effort in trying to get this activation code. And I thought that was it. Once I had it, I'm in. I can start earning some money. And then I got in and I realized
Wait, hold on. How did you get the activation code? Oh, is that coming up?
Thank you, Nat Ellionson's Discord. That has a subgroup for STEPN.
She pulled some strings, all right?
Okay.
And then I was ready to get going, and I realized, I have to invest £1,100 just to get one pair of shoe, which it has a return on investment of maybe a few months because you have to buy maybe 3 before you can start getting enough energy to earn money. Yeah.
For your 3 feet at the game.
Do they make you buy them in pairs, or do you buy like an individual shoe and you can match it with a second, or?
Fortunately, it's in pairs.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'm not very crypto native, and I thought I was ready to get into the game, and just seeing that price tag for something that sounded so fun, and knowing that I can buy with £100 some shoes to go and do exercise, I don't know, not for me. The ROI seems just very risky.
Oh wait, so you're saying that because it gets paid back in a few months, you told me. So that means that the return on investment is, or the average annual return is more than 100%, and you're like, not enough.
Well, if the Pnzinomics don't crumble, that's the thing. It doesn't look sustainable, and so who says that in 3 months' time I will gain a profit?
So you, Maria, you have a number, which is, let's say, a percentage, that if you earn that's higher than that percentage on a day, you would buy it.
Well, if it took a week, to get my money back,
okay.
yeah.
So
if it's something reasonable
in that case,
seems safer, it's a big price tag to invest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's two things I like here. I'll start with one. I think the activation code is smart and good, right? So I think one of the problems that Axie had was there was suddenly this like unstoppable gold rush of people coming into the game, playing the game, grinding as much as they could, and then selling Axies to the next person that also comes in, and you get this hyperinflation very, very fast. And I think the energy system was one way to limit that a little bit, and I think there's a kind of energy system with STEPN as well, right?
Yeah.
You can't, walk infinitely. There's a certain amount you can do per day. And on top of that, they also have an activation code, so they limit the amount of people that I can actually start playing the game and buying
then
shoes,
it's actually like
right?
then two limits. You not only need the activation code, but then you also need the capital after that.
Yeah. And it gives having one pair of shoe, and then the shoes you can buy have different stats. And to buy a pair of shoes that has the best stats to optimize your leveling up and being able to mint other shoes, they're actually a lot more expensive to buy nowadays, because I think people now know the strategy, know what to look for. And so the market is a bit different than what it was at the start. And you get 10 minutes per day with your first pair of shoe. And the activation code, I don't have.
I think
the
that also
patience
like
or the
doubles
will.
up as it doubles up as like a little bit of a hype generator, similar to like how Clubhouse was like invite only, I guess. Like, maybe, is that what you like about it, Nico?
It's harder. It's way scarcer for me to get on Clubhouse because you could invite quite a lot of people. I don't know. I was just a lot easier to get a code someone to invite me to Clubhouse. With trying to find an activation code, honestly, I would have given up unless I was so keen to find out what it was all about. I don't have the energy to put into trying to go on Discord all day long, drop a code, copy paste it fast.
I guess they kind of did their job if you were like that keen also to like, go for it. So, but yeah, Nico, go ahead.
Well, my thoughts are, I think, this is still not the last time in which we'll see a Ponzinomic, boom and bust cycle, right? And so what I think was smart here is that because of the activation codes, they can actually control the inflow of new players into the system. So they can actually smooth out that. Like, imagine if they wouldn't have had the activation code, then the spike would be way more severe. And so because of the activation code, they have a little bit more control. And so I actually don't know what the price of the shoes is now. Like, is it already like going down a bit, or is it still just to the moon and we keep going up?
I checked it a few days ago and it felt to the moon. And you could get a better price buying with, I believe, Solana instead of the BNB coin for Binance.
Okay, so today the token went up another 15%. Over the last month, it went up. What is this?
You could see the GST token, which is the one you need to repair your shoes and mint and all of that, go a bit down because I think they're introducing a new token. The GMT.
I was going to mention
like
that bit about repairing the shoes. While it is still kind of like a Ponzinomics thing, like they seem to be conscious about putting more sinks into the economy to at least keep that at bay a little bit longer while they develop more features and try and balance things out.
Yeah, and hat off to their UX of the app, to be honest. The app is very slick, navigates well. I'm not really into crypto, and so, I just don't know how to create wallets very well. And just with one click, well, not one click, maybe 2 or 3, you would have created a wallet. And so even though I'm not on Solana or BNB, I just did it on the fly, and then I'd be able to quite easily buy my first pair of shoes. So I was very impressed with that flow.
Neil is listening very closely right now.
It doesn't beat the Skyweaver
to make
flow,
Maria
happy?
What was the second thing you liked, Nico? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So that's exactly what I wanted to touch upon. So fundamentally, I've said this a lot. I see a lot of decks, right? I see a lot of X to earn, and I'm actually quite excited about the concept of move to earn. So fundamentally, whenever I see X to earn, I'm skeptical. When people tell me I just earned, a significant amount of money for a 10-minute walk, I get very suspicious. One of the lessons my dad told me was there is no such thing as a free lunch. And that is a very useful lesson when you're navigating the dark and murky waters of Web3 with scams left and right trying to pull you under. And so, to stay afloat, just be very suspicious of anything, Anyway, so, there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no easy way to make money, right? The money always has to come from somewhere. We saw the same with Axie. I think you guys described it as, what was it again? Like an attraction park or something, or a carnival, whatever.
Yeah,
like
carnival,
there has to be carnival. If there's money coming out, there has to be money coming in somewhere. And so with STEPN, for now at least, the way it works is, the money coming in is from new people wanting to, walk and earn, obviously. So, but the reason why I'm specifically excited about this move to earn idea is because I actually think that there is tangible real world value being created by incentivizing people to move. And I think the way this will potentially play out in the future is with partnering with, what's the word I'm looking for? Insurance, life insurance companies.
Insurance,
So health insurance, that's the word. Thank you. So, if I think there's going to be a world where, you will pay less health insurance if you do these kind of things. So, right, because if statistics can show that, if you, let's say, do an hour walk every day, that will reduce your chance to have a heart attack and diabetes by X%. So you can almost calculate the real world value of you making that walk. And so there's actually a real...
You can already do that. So
right, there you go. And
Vitality has a program that if you track your exercise, so you just get benefits and you pay less premium, and you can get an iPhone and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And so there is real value being created. And so, this is, to come back to our carnival example, if there's people, taking money out, the value that's being created by, potentially partnering with health insurance companies, that would actually be a money faucet into this ecosystem where, that could actually facilitate people actually earning by walking, just because they're decreasing their cost of life insurance.
I have to say that, hats off to STEPN for their format. I completely agree. I run 3-4 times a week, and before I reached that turn point, I was willing to run 7 days a week in order to make money. And it's just the power of money.
Awesome.
It's such a great motivator. I hope it, it survives and it's not a Ponzinomic, because it's quite an exciting space.
I mean, I've checked out the website, and so the team seems very legit. They're also not pseudonymous. The investors are very legit. I haven't looked too deep into what their long-term vision is. I hope sincerely that they're looking into what we just discussed, where there's additional value being created with what they do. It makes me feel like another Axie Infinity. So they created this viral loop where people get their friends on, right? They tell everyone I just went for a walk and I just made X amount of money. They get a shit ton of people on their system. They've done a great job with the onboarding, and there's going to be a lot of angry people at some point, right? Because this stuff it can't keep going up. This doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But then, when the dust settles down, they're going to have, thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people that own these weird shoes, right? And then maybe they can continue to build something sustainable from that. And I kind of see this as almost the play to earn playbook at this point, right? Where it's, you created unsustainable loop that creates a viral effect where people are suddenly printing money out of nowhere, and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And because people are greedy and sometimes pretty naive, they're like, everyone's like, oh, okay, I'm going to buy some assets. And then you get millions of people on your platform. Suddenly, everything implodes, but they still have these assets because they don't want to sell them at the loss. And then you actually, build an experience around these assets that they own. And you suddenly have a very significant player base, and because in the end, the company behind STEPN doesn't invest anything in this, right? They've built this loop, and all of the money coming in comes from players.
Yeah. I guess my only question you're right that this is, that playbook now. Create that virality loop at the start, potentially, use the model that Axie has to kind of hit that growth spike, but then not have like the bells and whistles and live ops controls for later to kind of balance the economy. And my question is like, how, this is like a bad way to put the question, but like how early is too late? It's kind of like when like people launch that early and kind of don't think about future repercussions of what that economy will end up like, it'll basically be too late. Because I think we're also kind of seeing it with Axie Infinity right now, right? Like they have all these different plans of how they're going to be fixing the economy, but will SLP really come back to its July 2021 levels where that was really the peak? And you kind of see it also in free to play games. Like if if you're not like thinking about how your economic design is going to be playing out for like the next 3 years in live operations, then at some point it is too late to kind of change like fundamental systems in the game, and therefore you end up operating on a lower baseline forever. There is like this opportunity cost attached with like launching this early and not thinking about where you will end up. So so that's probably like the one thing that I would feel about STEPN or any of these models, like any Axie Infinity style model applied to play to earn, move to earn, eat to earn, read to earn, learn to earn. I don't know, whatever to earn, So that would be like, the one question I have, but yeah.
You hit the point that I was going to make, exactly, the opportunity cost. If you're spending all your time as a development team fixing a broken economy, that means you're not building new features, you're not layering in new fun things to do or new systems. 100% agree. And one thing I just wanted to mention briefly, like regardless of how successful or unsuccessful STEPN is, you have to think companies like Nike and Artifact or Adidas are paying attention to what's happening here, right? It's like in their wheelhouse. Are they going to do it exactly? Probably not, but they have to be paying attention at least and seeing the opportunity there.
Yeah, I use the Nike app to run, and they already have a way where you can put your shoes in, and it tracks the wear down over time. It just reminded me, just add a little element.
How much are you earning?
Healthy lifestyle. Happiness.
Healthy lifestyle.
Priceless.
ROI on that.
Does your health insurance get reduced?
I could get what's the clock? The iWatch or something like that.
There you go. Oh, it's nice. It's amazing.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I should check that
By the way,
for my health insurance. Get Apple Watch.
Apple Watch. That's what it is. Not an iWatch.
iWatch.
Yeah.
I want to ask Manu a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Manu, you mentioned, Axie Infinity. By the way, plug next week. So you're listening to, or this came out on a Friday. Next Tuesday, my interview with Philip La goes live.
Oh,
we dive into Axie Infinity.
Nice. That'll
That's an
be
interesting
awesome.
topic to you.
Yeah.
Are you guys also talking about the origin a little bit? Can you like give a teaser, spoiler?
Yeah. Okay. Everything.
Cool. Nice.
Spoiler. I mean, he explains it better than I can, so
nice.
I'm not gonna do it justice by trying now.
Nice.
So I'll leave it with that.
Philip
Just quickly,
awesome,
you just mentioned you just mentioned that will Axie or Sky Mavis be able to increase the SLP price to their July highs? And so my response to that is if they don't, would that make them a failure?
No.
Since when is the arbitrary valuation of the markets at the top of a cycle a indicator, or okay, so I'm going to make another small rant. So
a small one.
One of the problems I see is, I'm ranting a lot today, so my apologies for that. Anyway, so one of the problems I see today is that, because people are greedy, right? This feels in Web3 like the foundation of every problem. They tend to price up out of FOMO a lot of assets that suddenly shoot up in value. And then that top value, which is, as a developer, you don't have Axie, the Axie team, the Sky Mavis team didn't have anything to say about, the price of SLP, right? They design an economy and then suddenly they see this hyper fast growth that, because they didn't have any activation codes, couldn't do much about. they so the price spikes up for everyone. That's like the new normal, right? People are like, okay, you can earn, I don't know, what was the max that people could earn, like a few dozen bucks a day or something. You can earn that a day. Then that's the new normal, and that's the anchor. And now everything that's not that is a failure, right? While in reality, if you would have asked these,
not right.
Well, if you ask this. If you ask the Sky Mavis team today, or let's say if you asked the Sky Mavis team 18 months ago, like, would you be happy to be in the shoes today where this is the amount of users you have, this is the price of SLP, this is how much people are earning? I'm pretty sure that they'll be very happy. And so my point is that, a lot of the time we're comparing the success of a game by irrational metrics that they didn't have any control over, that were forced upon them almost by the free market and the greed of people.
Yeah. I guess where I was coming from, and probably the big difference with STEPN, is that Axie happened and then STEPN came. So STEPN knew. So learning from hindsight is valuable in its own self, and I think. At the end of the day, SLP hitting whatever high it hit, that's not really the point. It's just more about once that has happened, and one can kind of theoretically deconstruct why that happened, then learnings can be made, and then time can be given to basically make a better version, and not kind of make the same mistakes or like step in the same holes again. That would then allow these companies to essentially, not have that opportunity cost in terms of business upside that they might be losing now or going forward because they're stepping in those same holes. And it's not about hitting market highs and stuff. And of course, the market will fluctuate for 100 different reasons. But it's just about like Axie happened. You have a model that sounds pretty similar to Axie, why, or where are those learnings kind of getting implemented? So I guess that's where I was coming from.
Activation code money.
Well, devil's advocate now. You seeing Axie Infinity until it was less successful, it was very successful, and if even people who are not very familiar with crypto and Web3, it's very likely that they know Axie Infinity by name and none other. Because they led the movement, they got there first, they got very well known, a lot of press, and so I don't know. I think if I were in the shoes of creators of a new product, and we knew that we could apply the strategy and then balance it out, and you can see, like Nico was saying, they've already done some improvements to have burn and limitation of the spike of growth of new users. They could be trying to use this strategy in a more controlled environment to then give them time to implement the features to come. And I can't fault companies for going after human greediness. Like, it's just a trait, and everything that we know about product development is what do humans want? How will they buy? And you always want more. You run 5K, you want to run 10K. You get a salary increase, you want the next salary increase. You get love, you want more love. It's just how we are. So
and also no matter how many ever hindsight examples exist, there will always be new mistakes to be made with any game. So nothing is like really perfect at the end of it. And I'll give a big caveat. I haven't even played this STEPN game, so I'm just talking based on whatever you guys said, but it's just about putting those learnings to use, and if you guys are already kind of saying, well, it seems like the same Axie Infinity Pnzinomics model, then that's already why didn't you learn a little bit, but
I know something that is perfect.
I also do think Axie Infinity has definitely played its role in this industry, and it continues to play that role, we wouldn't have a Crypto Corner segment without that game. So but need to evolve also, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I make one final,
Final. We
Point
need
on
to
that?
wrap up this episode.
To wrap up?
Is it a
we're
rant?
planning to make it shorter,
Is
right?
it renting?
It's not a rant, actually. It's the opposite.
Oh, okay.
I think,
yeah, go for it.
I mean, I think there's a real world where, even the STEPN team looks back and says, like, we did all the right things, even although the fact, like, what they're doing now might be unsustainable. Right? I agree that there might be an opportunity cost, but it feels, I don't know, like, again, I think, they're putting their assets in the hands of, or on the feet of people, and those people are just paying the bills, right? So, yeah, these are my final thoughts.
It's just a lot to get in. Like, being met with that high price. It's not accessible. There's not many people that have 1,100 pounds just laying around to buy some digital shoes to then maybe earn. So
but that's market driven, right? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what their mint price was, but let's say they launch another project, STEPN 2, and then suddenly STEPN price goes down, STEPN 2 price goes up. Like, it's somewhat driven by market forces.
Yeah, but have a free to play. Allow me to engage and rank up in order to get my first free pair of shoes.
You just start barefoot.
Yeah,
in the metaverse.
exactly. Get strong
Buy
feet.
a pair of feet.
The business opportunity I see here, Matt, is that
there's
could
a big
put,
opportunity. I mean, to bring it back to Meta, there's no feet in Meta's metaverse. So you got to buy your feet there first. Then you hook up
Buy
a
the
STEPN,
lower
and you
half of your body,
then
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know.
I think we're onto something here.
If you're playing a land-based metaverse game where you don't have teleports and you have to walk between land, then would that count for STEPN?
Oh,
Hopefully.
that's like a STEPN integration opportunity into,
Yeah.
I don't know, Decentraland.
Yeah, I think the business opportunity here for Matt is to put your corgi earning these steps. So just sell your corgi going on walks,
Yep.
add a bunch of phones, and
We are
then
open for business if there's
Yeah.
anyone interested.
Pokemon Go goes to STEPN. All right. Well, we'll wrap up the episode here today. If you want to continue the discussion, you can find us on Naavik's Discord. We're around. Just send us a message. And yeah, we really hope that you enjoyed the format today. If you could spend 1 minute sending us an email and letting us know what you thought, we'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. And thank you everyone for joining.